Welcome to Facebook Live. My name is Colin Fahy, and part of my 30-day song challenge, we decided on the final day we will go live via Facebook. We're live here from AIT Students' Union. My co-presenter is Daniel Coulter.
Hello, everyone.
Dan is quite relaxed now that we're live on TV. The countdown was keeping us on a bit of our nerves for both of us. Over the next, 30 to 40 minutes, we plan to have some guest musicians, guest speakers, and everybody that has supported us along the way will be communicating with them via Facebook. And you can communicate with us via Facebook. Drop us a line, say hello, keep us relaxed, send us messages. We'll communicate with you as best our ability. And we're coming live here via GTM Events. They're a company based in Dublin who are making this all happen live for us. I've got the shirt and the tie. Well, I left the tie off because it's too formal for all that.
You've made me look like a bit of an egot now, let's be honest. But I suppose we may get the show on the road and start with the main man that we have here, Mr. Colin Fahy. Colin, I remember it would have been just over 30 days ago, you messaged me one day and said, Dan, I have an idea, which is always dangerous. As for years, we've been trying to put the world together. But anyway, and I suppose, Colin, you might as well tell everyone that's watching us how it all began, where the idea came from.
I'd been watching actually people on Facebook doing this 22-day push-up challenge. And they were doing it for mental health awareness in the armed force, and I thought it was a great initiative, and I thought, could I do something with music? And I thought, 30 days in November, 30 songs, could I do it? Would it be realistic? Would people stick with me? Would they get the idea? Would it just be a couple of likes and maybe that'd be the end of it? And Daniel called over for a cup of tea, and we had a good chat about it, and I decided, I'll just go with this idea, create awareness for mental health. That was in my head. Through music, and just see where it will go with it. And each day I would post a different website linking information for mental health, and it was just a simple idea, create awareness. It wasn't about creating money, and thankfully the idea worked. People jumped on board, and
fantastic. You got some massive reaches on a lot of the videos.
Yeah, the first few the first day we got to about 10,500 views. We just picked a small pub in Portumna, band Tradstone, my brother's band, and I remember putting up the video going, I was actually quite nervous to see would anybody actually look at it. And
once you get the first like, it all takes off.
So thankfully it worked out well, and here we are. You know, I decided over the 30 days, people are not going to watch me every day just singing songs. I had to try and maybe move location, get other bands involved, get other people involved, because at the end of the day, it's not just about me. It's very much about, all of us getting involved. If people didn't share, if people didn't like, if people didn't talk about it, my idea just didn't work. So I always felt it wasn't just about me singing the songs, and I felt it was trying to have a community effort, and thankfully it worked great.
Yeah, and I said you had some fantastic as well people along the way that gave you support, and
yeah,
I know you
absolutely.
ended up live on stage with Mike Denver. Your journey kind of took you from small pub in Portumna to a sold out show in the Glen Royal Hotel. So
yeah, that was just one of those moments where I got the phone call, will you come down here and will you do a song with us in Maynooth? And I arrived down in Maynooth, and next Mike says, sure, we'll do the song together. And that's what makes the difference, because, with his stature and his connection to more people in his area, it just spreads the awareness of what I was trying to do. And again, as I said, it becomes a collective approach,
Absolutely, and I suppose then you got an awful lot of backing as well from local, whether it be TDs or people that are in the area as well. And I know we've got one or two guest speakers lined up now as well that are involved in mental health as well. So it's worth a treat. It's been fantastic, and I suppose make sure everyone to stay tuned to us tonight now, because we've got a lot of live performances and we've got a lot of live guests as well. To make sure to stay tuned. Colin, you might maybe introduce our first act.
Yeah. So part of our event tonight, we're live here at AIT Students' Union. You're all watching hopefully via Facebook. If you want to drop us some messages, please do. And over this 30-40 minutes, all going to plan, we'll have some guest speakers, musicians. And first of all, I'm delighted to welcome a gentleman by the name of Warren Francis. He's from Athlone. He recently released his new EP. He's going to really sing one of his own songs from his own new EP. And here we go.
Strolling down the street, eyes down to her feet. is where you'll find the darkest room. Though it's hard to see, believe me, you won't give in. It takes its move first as you fall in reverse. Surrounded by hearts as the world falls apart. In the restless mind is where you'll find the darkest room. Though it's hard to see, believe me, you won't give in. You won't give in. Walking in the dark, you lose your heart and forget to see what it really means to spark the scene and to feel alive. Down the road there's a man who lives alone, waiting by the phone for someone who's gone. In the restless mind is where you'll find the darkest room. Though it's hard to see, believe me, you won't give in. Running from yourself, in need of help, forgetting who you are. When the pain rolls in, don't give in, it won't be long.
You're welcome back. That was great stuff by Warren Francis. Give him a round of applause, can we? Get a round of applause here. We have a live audience with us. Warren is a new singer-songwriter from Athlone. You can check him out on Facebook. It's facebook.com/Warren Francis Music. I'm delighted. My next guest is Michael O'Brien. He's a local independent councillor. At short notice, he came in tonight. He's been a great support for me over the last 30 days. Michael, you're very welcome.
Thank you, Colin.
You have been a strong supporter of mental health and services and awareness in Ireland over the last couple of years.
Absolutely. I suppose I was elected to the Westmeath County Council back in 2014, and it's really only, I suppose, during that time I'm working with different people, not just people with mental health difficulties, but it's only when you're dealing with people with different issues that you realise, you know what they're going through. And we all have our ups and our downs, and I think this. I want to say this initiative I think is fantastic, because I love the way you marry the music with creating awareness for mental health. I love music myself, and listening to the music here, I just remember a quote from Paul McCartney, and he said that he found that the guitar and music was like a cheap psychiatrist. for him that you can tell the guitar your troubles, you know.
It's a great line. Yeah, it's an interesting point you make, because I often wonder if people read all the text about information about mental health awareness and read this, it'll help you. And I just thought, as you said, music was a tool that we all recognise, and it just seems to hold your attention and it takes you somewhere, and it's just a journey that it takes you on. What advice would you give to young people who may be listening? Would you have some advice for them on mental health?
Yeah, I think, I know this year I have a close friend, and it's this year in 2016 they confided in me, and they've quite a serious mental health difficulty. And, you know, this person is a tremendous person, very talented person, very capable person. And it really hit home to me. I have my ups and downs, but I saw this year this formidable person can be fantastic one day and really hit rock bottom the next. And as I say, sometimes we use that word depressed very easily, and maybe just we're feeling low. But I have stuck, I suppose, with this person during the year, stuck with them during the year. And they realised themselves, you know, that, we need to get help. And they're actually, at this juncture, within the next couple of weeks, they actually have agreed to go and actually get help. And they are going to get the help in the next couple of weeks. And there's help out there. And what I would say to people and young people is, no matter how bad things are for you, you know, sometimes they can't get any worse and things can only get better. But to confide in someone, and it's the hardest thing to bring ourselves, to confide and to speak to someone. And when you do speak with someone, it just makes things an awful lot better.
Do you think within the mental health services, is there any areas we need to change or address? Are we failing in some areas? Do we get it right? Are all these talks that we're having now, is that the way forward? All the talks, you know, different people are doing these mental health talks. Is that the new stepping stone to communicate with people now? Do you think that's going to improve the situation?
It's helping, but I think it's still very slow. Yeah. The stigma is still there. There has been a huge improvement, I think, in latter years, in the last 4 or 5 years. But I think there has to be more. From a government perspective, I think more resources have to be applied to, say, primary care centres. Yeah. You know, if mental health is part of our overall health, if our mental health is poorly, it affects our physical health. Yeah. You know, there's no reason why. You know, we go to the doctor if we have a cold or a flu, or, you know, if we have symptoms or physical symptoms, but we're afraid when it comes to mental health, and there's no reason why we shouldn't feel free to go along to a primary care centre where knowing that the service is going to be there, whether they're a counsellor or a psychologist or a psychotherapist or a psychiatrist. The resources have to be put in. We can talk about it, and it's great to talk, and it's great to highlight the issue. Yeah. But I think sometimes government, you know, they pay a bit of lip service to it too, and I think they have. I think last year or two in the last government, there was a reduction in the mental health budget, which sent out all the wrong signals. Yeah,
like it was a big thing all over the media, and I don't understand that, because like suicide is a huge issue amongst young people now, you know, and I don't see why they don't see that the writing's on the wall. We need to step forward and make it's a massive problem now, isn't it?
It's huge, like, and I know the health spend, it's huge, like what goes into health, but I still think there's so much more to do, and you know, it's still a very silent, you know, problem, and I would plead with government, and I would plead with everyone in any way, with any authority, to lobby their TDs and their local representatives to keep this on the agenda and to fight for it, because it's worth fighting for. But yeah.
Michael, it's been a pleasure having you.
Thanks
for coming on short notice. Please give a round of applause for Michael O'Brien.
Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. Okay, to keep things moving, there's a shot of our loyal audience we have here tonight. We're live via Facebook, just in case you tuned in. It's part of my 30-day song challenge. I'm coming live via Facebook live from AIT Students' Union, who thankfully gave us this premises to use. And we've lots of music and guests on the way. Next up, we have music from a man. He's all the way from Eden Derry. He's a student here in AIT. He's on the music tech course. His name is Mark Hickey, and he's going to give us a song. What number are you going to give us?
Take My Hand by Pictureless.
Great stuff.
Take my hand, and we could go walking. We talk about whatever is on your mind. Be my friend, no. Secretly like me. I wanna catch you staring at me. You go red. I love the way your hair falls in the summer. I treat you like a father treats your mother. I am kinda scared of your older brother. Oh yeah. You're all that I'm needing, all that I'm feeling. I'll be the one who's kicking and screaming. You have to go home every evening. Oh yeah. Your feet in the sand, your mind in the water. We could explore these hills if that's what you wanna do. You know I can't stand it when it gets cold in the evening, and I'm stood in the freezing, but my clothes look so good on you. Play with my hair like there's no other. Treat you like a father treats your mother. I'm no longer scared of your older brother. Oh yeah. You're all that I'm needing, you're all that I'm feeling. I'll be the one who's kicking and screaming. You have to go home every evening. Oh yeah. Get you in loads of trouble, give you love on the double. We can get drunk as the words will get muddled. Cigarette smoke started a bubble. Oh no. Take my hand.
English and French are the American version.
We could go
So you
walking.
have to number your sins.
We could talk about whatever is on your mind. You play with my hair like there's no other. I treat you like your father treats your mother. I'm no longer scared of your older brother. You said we are cool, man, I know you love her. You're all that I'm needing, you're all that I'm feeling. I'll be the one who's kicking and screaming. You have to go home every evening. Oh yeah. Take my hand. We could go walking. We could talk about whatever is on your mind.
Thank you. Well done. Perfect, there you go. Everyone obviously liked that, Mark. You got a clap. Thank you very much. Everyone, you're very welcome back here. Daniel Coulter here, co-presenter here. Very welcome back to the 30-day song challenge here to raise awareness of mental health. And thanks very much again to Councillor Michael O'Brien, who was with us a few minutes ago. I am joined by Fionnuala Colgan, the Area Development Officer in Mental Health Ireland. And funny enough, Fionnuala, I hadn't seen you in a while, and I was in a hotel earlier on in the week. You were in a hotel earlier on in the week. That sounds very wrong. But anyway, and the Radisson.
Oh my God,
Yeah,
I never said hello
and,
to you.
and I didn't say. I meant to say hello to you.
Okay.
And funny enough, a couple of days later, here we are.
Yeah.
Yeah, here we are. Now, just put the mic a small bit up
Okay,
there. Excellent.
yeah,
So,
lovely.
Fionnuala, would you mind telling us here, you're involved with Mental Health Ireland, but maybe about how you firstly got involved in the area of mental health?
I became involved with mental health. I was always interested in mental health and well-being, and when the opportunity came to work with Mental Health Ireland, I went forward for the post of Area Development Officer. It's a nice few years now at this stage, probably even decades, and based myself here in the Midlands. My post is primarily funded by the HSE and Mental Health Ireland, and we are a national voluntary organisation with the key focus of promoting mental health awareness and supporting people with mental health problems through a network of local mental health associations.
Okay, excellent. And
Yeah.
your role then is it's based around the...
In the Midlands.
Right, in the Midlands,
Yeah,
okay.
and here in Westmeath we have Mullingar and Athlone Mental Health Association.
Okay,
So
excellent.
they do huge work.
And maybe some projects that you've been involved in or you're involved in at the moment?
Well, do you know what? We're in an institution of education and learning, and Athlone IT, for all the years I've been in the Midlands, has been very, very supportive to working with us in developing mental health promotion projects through the Healthy Promoting Campus. And for the last number of years, with the support of the students in hospitality, catering and leisure, they've done a number of cake sales for us for the last number of years. And we decided with Health Promoting Campus to develop a public speaking project to encourage young people from the local secondary schools to come in. So we're now going into our third year with that. So that's mental health promotion through education. But we're also involved in a message that I think is very important for us here this evening. It's the 5 ways to wellbeing, and it's based on the same idea that eat 5 a day for good nourishment and good well-being. So the 5 a day for good mental health are connect, be active, keep learning, give and take notice. And like, if you think about what's going on here this evening, if you think about what Colin has done in the last month, and like, just think about it all, like the connecting with people through music, through words. Think about he's given of his time freely. There was no attachment of fundraising with it, which was great, that we could all just listen to music and not feel we had to text in.
Yes,
it's nice, and I think that's been magnetic.
It is. It's a lovely, relaxed atmosphere.
I think it's fantastic.
Just as you said there, fundraising. Just Mental Health Ireland is a voluntary organisation. You said so. Just maybe some fundraising initiatives that maybe have obviously you rely a lot on funding and fundraising.
Well, Mental Health Ireland itself is a national voluntary organisation, so it gets significant support funds from the HSE and from the Department of Health. But then they'll also run extra campaigns to help people, maybe through. We've been running a programme called Certificate in Mental Health in the Community, and so they have a bursary for people who are coming through mental health problems that help them out with those fees.
I know you had a big fundraiser there recently with Joe McCall was involved in.
Joe, just out of the blue, approached Athlone Mental Health Association, and he went single-handedly, started the whole initiative with support from the association and many other people, and ran it in the Shamrock Lodge Hotel there last weekend. It is amazing, but that's all about giving, supporting.
And it's a community then, I suppose, coming together, Yeah,
and one of our strong points as a local mental health associations in the region is that any funds raised locally stay local. Like Mental Health Ireland may have national fundraising, but that's for them. But anything that happens locally, the money is spent. And we've been very fortunate that the Rotary Club have now identified us as a support organisation for their Christmas fundraising activities. So that's great. That'll all go back into the community and help people and support them at times of crisis.
And Fionnuala, finally, one question for you, just for anyone that's listening to hear it live tonight, a message that you would have for people.
You know what? Just look after your mental health. Because mental health is about your resilience. And for me, sometimes, because we're in Athlone, this time last year, there was an awful lot of people in crisis with flooding. And they were trying to be resilient about that, not alone just through community spirit, but by building up sandbanks, 24/7 pumping. So, like, if we can look at our mental health as our bank of resilience towards well-being, and simple things like the 5 ways to well-being, being involved, being supportive, and most importantly of all, asking for help. Just like whatever that is, just for the chat. And I know it's something that's very encouraged here in Athlone IT.
Excellent.
Yep.
Well, Fionnuala Colgan, I think everyone could please give Fionnuala Colgan a round of applause. That was fantastic.
Okay, thank you.
Now, and I hope you're still listening to us and you're tuned in. We've got a band now, Frenchmen from the AIT. Students, all students? Yes. And all going to... French and Spanish. Oh, I nearly got myself in trouble there. So we have French and Spanish students here. They're going to perform a song for us, guys. So stay tuned. Thank you.
Well, you don't mean you bet I felt it. I try to be cheap, but just so happen I'm 13. I fell right through the cracks, but I'm trying to get back. Before the coup I'm run and I've been giving in my best. There's nothing's gonna stop me, good divine intervention. Waking it's a game I turn to win some or learn some, but I won't hesitate no more. It cannot cannot wait. I'm yours. Open up your mind and see like me. Open up your planes to tame you free. Look into your heart and you find love, 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 love. Listen to the music at the pub and people dance and sing. We just one big family. Needs our God for second rights be love, 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 love. So I won't and I take no more, no more. It cannot wait. I'm sure there's no need to complicate. Our time is short. This is our fate. I'm yours. Hey, hey, hey. Your lipstick stains on the front above my left side brains. I know I wouldn't forget you, and so I will let you blow my mind. Your sweet moonbeam, the smell of you in every single dream I dream. I know when we collided, you're the one I have decided was one of my kind. Hey, soul sister, ain't that Mr. on the radio, stereo, the way you move and fair, you know. Hey, soul sister, and I don't wanna miss a single thing you do tonight. Hey, hey, hey. Just in time. I'm so glad you have a one-track man like me. You gave my life direction, makes all love connection you can't deny. I'm so upset. My bound is bound to be my arm, my dream chest. I believe in you like a virgin, you're Madonna, and I'm always gonna wanna blow your mind. Hey, soul sister, ain't that Mr. on the radio, stereo, the way you move and fair, you know. Hey, soul sister, I don't wanna miss a single thing you do tonight.
Hello and you're very welcome back here live via Facebook and you're live here in AIT. Daniel Coulter here, co-presenter for the 30-day song challenge for mental health awareness. So thank you very much, our French and Spanish contingent here, our students here at AIT. I'm happily now joined by two men to my left. Father Shay Casey, who definitely knows these international students and many international students that have come through the doors over the years. He's the chaplain here, 32 years, Father?
Yeah, 32 years. Seems like a long time, Dan.
And I'm joined as well by Kevin Ronan, who is the president of AIT Students' Union. And thank you very much, Kevin, for letting us use the venue here this evening.
You're welcome.
So, Shay, I suppose your role here is the chaplain within AIT. So, you might tell me a bit about your role and what I suppose you're heavily involved in the coalface on the ground here with the students. So, you might tell me a bit about your role, please.
Yeah, well, I suppose every September we get get about 1,800 new students in, and myself and Kevin and whoever is president of the Students' Union, whoever is in the Students' Union, we work together, very closely together, to create a kind of a welcoming atmosphere. And in the induction program, we go around talking to everybody, trying to make sure that they're welcome, that they feel welcome, that there's nobody isolated or, And I suppose in the course of that, the majority of students are very happy, party-loving animals, as I know.
You know very well. Didn't you have a house party there about a week and a half ago?
We had indeed, and I want to say a special word of thanks to my neighbours.
The Gardaí weren't called, were they?
Little rumours out that. But anyway, no, but it's so important to make sure that everybody is welcome. We have such a complex kind of mixture of personalities and where people are from and all that sort of stuff. We have 61 different nationalities, 61 different countries represented on campus. And the idea is to blend them together, to make them feel welcome, to make it a really happy experience for them. Now, naturally, in the course of our meetings with people, we find people who do suffer from mental health issues. Or maybe, they have a little bit of baggage from the past. And our job is, and I would see myself as a bridge to professional counselling, our job is to reach out to people, help them to take the little pebble out of their shoe, if you like. Mental health can be like a pebble in your shoe or a cloud over your head. And the prism by which you see the world is different, or it's a little bit dark, or, it's just not, you're just not living life to your full potential. And what we would like to think and hope is that not only do you come here for an education, but you come here for a life experience, and that we can maybe, lift the light, if you like, on your view of the world. And it's as simple and as complex as that, if you like. But the Students' Union give us enormous help. We just couldn't, I as a chaplain here, I couldn't just function without Kevin and indeed yourself in previous years and all the other presidents down. And people like Colin, who, this is an enormous project.
Fantastic, yeah.
A fantastic project. And Colin was my flatmate for 10 years in another life. And many projects like this we're involved in. And he has never lost it, I'm delighted to say.
Excellent. Well, Kevin, might bring you in now as well, because as Father Shea has said there, you're a vital part as well with the student cohort here. So maybe, Kevin, tell me about your role as the Students' Union President, and I suppose in relation to mental health, a lot of the different initiatives that I know yourself, Kate and Donna here in the Students' Union are involved in.
Yeah, so our role in the Students' Union is really to help and guide students through college and make sure that they get the best experience possible. So be that through their taking part in sports or societies or getting involved in college activity, meeting the international students we were here and playing earlier. So really getting involved and joining the community and really interacting with the whole experience of college. So that's be it going out and having a party or joining the club, joining the society. And I suppose mental health comes into that, where we try to promote positive mental health. So we're trying to tell people that everyone has a mental health difficulty and it's okay, but as long as you're positive about it, that's the main thing. So you can see all the banners behind us tonight are all Mind Your Mates. And it's a campaign that we rolled out now about a year and a half ago, and we actually won a national awards, National Mental Health Campaign of the Year here in the Students' Union in all of Ireland. So it's really about bringing people together and bringing people who might sit at the back of the class on their own, and that they might want someone to eat lunch with, or they might want someone to play cards with, or just have a chat. And that people are open to having that chat and having that conversation about, are you okay? Because it is okay to be not okay. So people can just have that chat and really talk about the issues that are at hand.
Excellent. And I know you've obviously been involved as well, heavily with fundraising as well, so for different charities in relation to mental health. So you might tell us a small bit about that as well?
Yeah, so I suppose last year our Raise and Give Week charity was Pieta House. And we raised over €4,500 in that week.
Yeah, and maybe just Raise and Give, maybe just a small bit
so
about
Raise and
how that
Give is the week that we take once a year to raise as much money for charity as possible. So in some places we might have some connotations to it, but in AIT it's really about raising and giving and really raising as much money for those charities as possible. And last year was Pieta House. This year is Three T's, which is Turn the Tide of Suicide. So you can really feel this is a charity voted by students in the college.
Yeah.
And they choose these charities because they believe in the cause. And that's noticeable today when we celebrate our Amber Flag we won here in the college as well for positive mental health.
Excellent. Brilliant. There's fantastic stuff ongoing all the time. It's great to see. So guys, we might just finish up with one final question that we've been asking our guests this evening. So if you had one message, we'll start with you maybe, Shay, that you could give people who are tuned in and listening to us tonight, what would that message be?
I just think over the years and experience in helping people with mental illness, if you like, as I said, there's many different like layers of it, if you like. And sometimes the layer that's often neglected is, the people who live kind of in the twilight zone. It's like they can tolerate the pebble in their shoe. They seem to get by. But their life could be so much more fun and they could be so much more empowered if they're really like zoned in on that. Like they just kind of bob along, and it's kind of, I'm okay, I won't do anything about that, and they live kind of in that very unhappy maybe place, if you like. I'm just reminded, just listened, and there's a quote that Colin gave me last week, which I thought was, because we had a special Remembrance Day for all our bereaved, and indeed, unfortunately, we lost 3 students last year, through suicide, and a number of parents. But there's a song. Leonard Cohen, as you all know, was a great poet. But there's a line in it now, I might quote him accurately, but it's something like, it's okay to have cracks because cracks let the light in. It's okay to have cracks because cracks let the light in. If we could just realise that sometime, it's okay to be broken. There's nothing wrong with that. It's just, if just do something, empower yourself or empower others to look for help.
Excellent, brilliant, Shay. And Kevin, finally, last word to you. You love the last word.
The last words. Really, it's just about making sure that people are okay to talk. It is okay to talk. If it's a family member, if it's a friend, if it's your chaplain, is it your teacher, is it your grandparents, is it your parents, is it anyone at home? And that you just have that conversation and say, I'm not feeling the best. And then start to open up about it and start to explore what is that pebble, as Shay calls it, and why is that causing me some disturbance. So just make sure that you get out and talk to people.
Excellent. Well, it's been fantastic to have Shay and Kevin here now to talk about the student experience. We give them a round of applause, please, guys. Thank you. I was also getting a bit worried there because I couldn't remember who was on next, but it's okay. It's only you. So, guys, thanks very much for listening to us. Now, a big moment here. This is the 30-day song challenge here. Colin Fahy and Mental Health Awareness, and it's that time. 30th song. Can we get a bit of a round of applause and a bit of a way? Woo! Excellent. Mr. Colin Fahy, take it away.
There's nothing you can do that can't be done. There's nothing you can say that can't be sung. There's nothing you can say that can't be learned. Play the game, it's easy.
That's the end of that.
I think it's only the beginning.
30 days, I don't know where that went to.
No, I mean, you sent me a text. I don't know if you remember this, back the end of October. and you go, hey Dee, what do you think? I'm going to do this. And I thought, it's Colin Fahy. Colin Fahy does what Colin Fahy's going to do. And we said, yeah, let's go for it and see where it goes. 16,000 hits, I think, on some of the songs.
Yeah, absolutely. First of all, I need to introduce these people because I just kind of ran from the stage, so I'm just kind of a bit off tune here. But this is Deirdre Hunt. She's a marketing manager for Lone Community Radio. And Paul Gill.
Yeah, hypnotherapist.
The hypnotherapist.
Yeah. Well, of course, as I said, we talked about it at the end of October. And it was kind of, 30 days. And it's a long time to keep people's attention, isn't it, Colin, Well,
that was the thing, this Facebook is so busy these days. Like, there's streams of videos coming in all the time, and everyone's got these fancy phones, and it's like, you can't expect people to be in tune every day with what you're doing, and, they've got other things to be doing. So I try and be creative and be interesting and, get more people involved is the whole idea,
Okay, and then, of course, I decided that, what can we do at that Lone Community Radio to promote it? Yeah. So every day we shared the video, and we also played your song every day on the local artist slot.
Yeah, I have to say, without this lady's help, for starters, she did huge work behind the scenes. Every day I just had a camera, I had my guitar and my little Zoom recorder. That's what I did most of my recordings on. People are asking me. Now, not all the recordings were like of super quality, but that's not what it was about. And this lady behind the scenes was every day on the phone to me, getting ideas, planning who we could get involved next, and just keeping me motivated, because there's some days I was like, I wasn't so motivated, I wasn't so creative, and that was a challenge, I suppose, for me. That's what it was. It was a challenge. So I have to thank you personally for that.
Oh, well, Colin, thanks very much. And it goes without saying that nobody can do this on their own. But, you sang the songs, you uploaded the songs. But, as I said, as part of the community radio, we're saying, what can we do? So then I contacted Paul Gill, who was a hypnotherapist. And Paul is also a volunteer with that Lone Community Radio. And Paul said to me, you have to make it meaningful. Every day there has to be quotes, there has to be something. So Paul came along.
Which was a great idea. Yeah. Thanks for that, Paul, because that was something I hadn't thought of.
Yeah.
Was the whole idea of bringing quotes on board. All I had initially was just websites and information.
Yeah.
And I was even getting, people were texting me and sending me messages about certain quotes, where did that quote come from? And I was actually having to research them because you had sent me all the quotes.
Yeah.
But I could see the impact it was working,
Well, Colin, I was very impressed with first of all, that you started this on your own. I thought, why don't you form a big committee and get a load of people involved? But you just took off. You just started.
I took off because there was 4 days to the 1st of November, and I had to just call it. It was kind of sitting there for a while, and then I said, if I don't do it now, will that moment pass?
Yeah.
So that was that part of the question. You were just there, yeah.
Well, and that worked, that spontaneity, because some of the earlier speakers talked about, what government talking and workshops and, talking about things and talking about changing things. And sometimes there's too much talk and not enough action. So I was very impressed that you just, let's get in, let's start doing it. And it did change a lot. You said, I forget how many likes there was the first day.
Well, the first video we did, we were up on 11,500 views, but the first day, it was just 4,000 or 5,000 views in an hour and a half or 2 hours, and the shares just went through the roof. Mm-hmm. And everybody got the idea. That was my wonder: would they understand what I was trying to do? Because sometimes I felt I had to refocus people on Facebook, just that they understood what it really was about. Was it that some people thought, oh, you're just doing a 30-day song challenge for the sake of doing a song challenge? Mm-hmm. So I had to re-emphasize the awareness part and keep that in kind of the front line, if you like.
Yeah.
So that was just the main thing with it,
And it was fantastic that Finola Colgan, and she's here today, got behind it as well. And a lot of the mental health associations around the country, they were sharing
absolutely,
it as well.
because I felt then that when the organisations were recognising what I was trying to do, that maybe this actually does work, in my own head. Because I kind of had to refrain from wondering how many people viewed it. It wasn't about that. But there was days you were just hoping you were going to get the views, because that was my motivational tool as well, But it was great when I felt that, Fiona and other people like that got on board. That really kind of got me refocused at times as well, because it's a long run.
And it became part of our lives, I think, for 30 days, because I know I kept waiting for your song every day.
So did I. There was some days I was actually 20 to 12 trying to get a song to load for an hour on Facebook, because Facebook's quite hard to load at times. And I had to get in within the 24 hours of every day, because that was the challenge. And there was a few days I was getting text messages going, people going, are you, where's your song? And I was going, it's there. At Facebook or YouTube, I'd have it up in 2.5 minutes.
Yeah.
But that was the other side. Like the actual recording of the song was probably the easiest part. It was the beforehand, setting up a camera, finding a location, getting back to the house, edit, make it look presentable. You couldn't just, I felt I had a responsibility to present something properly. So that was the routine on a daily basis, regardless of what was going on in your life with work, family. You had to kind of put that in,
But you did it, Colin, and you got there every day by midnight, which was absolutely amazing.
Yeah, the kettle was on usually 10 to 12, and I used to take a deep breath.
Yeah, I mean, fair play. But how do you feel now that your 30 songs are
I feel
done?
great, actually. I'm delighted I did it. I'm delighted it worked. I didn't expect we'd get to where we are tonight. I didn't, like Paul is here and you're here and so many other guests, they all came and they all recognised it. And that's what made me feel good as a person, and that it was a collective approach. That was always my thinking.
Well, you see, Colin, you couldn't do it by yourself. And I mean, I'm looking at Father Shea here, Dan Coulter, Kevin Ronan.
Yeah.
Of course, there's Mary Meany here as well. Mary's probably like just
Donna's
behind
there,
the signs, and Donna.
Katie and all the rest of the crew.
Everybody was 100% behind you. And what was amazing, I think, was the fact that not only did you record the song every day live, you actually also recorded, edited, and uploaded each and every day yourself.
That was a learning curve. There was some days the video's gone, oh God. There was one day we actually went down to Sean's Bar. I wanted to emphasise the homeless issue. And I thought, maybe I'll go out in the cold. It was a really frosty night. And I rang Mary Meany. Is she there? Is she?
Somewhere.
I said, Mary, what are you doing tonight? And she goes, I said, do you want to go for a spin? I got to do a video. And she goes, 8 o'clock at night, you haven't got the video done. I said, I know, I had a long day and I work on and stuff. And she goes, what do you want to do? And I said, well, I want to get out on the streets. I said, we need to sing a song on the streets to link that, what it must feel like to be on the streets at the hour of the night, in the cold, And it was so cold, it was freezing. And that video seemed to do really well because the message was so strong. It wasn't even about me singing then. It was about that whole link with that message, It worked, Paul,
Yeah, and we lost a second homeless man on the streets around that time as well. I don't know, was it that particular week or the week after?
I didn't know that, actually, no.
But it kind of frustrates me sometimes that, the government throw money at lots of different things, but yet it seems to be people power that makes a difference with this. If they wanted to solve homelessness, they could do it. I think sometimes if there was a will, there's a way. But and again, that's why I'm so impressed with somebody like you. Like everybody here, everybody in the world, everybody in the country has experienced anxiety at some time, but not everybody suffers from it, if you like.
Yeah.
We carry a certain level of anxiety within us. And that's the thing. If you can dissipate anxiety, if you can talk about it, if you can, have conversations with people, you might necessarily get the answers, but you feel better having talked about it. Or if you can do some physical activity, physical exercise, or kind of get out and about. But people who have anxiety, sometimes they have a build-up of anxiety, and it comes to a kind of a tipping point, and that's where typically people might have a panic attack. And that it's like a discharge of energy. It's like an electrical discharge. Yep. And the remarkable thing is that sometimes after somebody has a panic attack, they can be remarkably serene. It's as if, they lifted the lid off a boiling kettle and all the steam has got out for a while. But then if they don't go talk to somebody, and I would always recommend go talk to somebody in the talking professional therapies, the counselling, the psychotherapists, all of that, because you learn skills then to cope with what life is going to throw at you. And that's the thing, you're never taught this necessarily in school or college. There's no course really that will teach you how to manage anxiety and when tough times come your way. You just have to learn it as you go. And people sometimes flounder through life like that.
And do you think with the services, I have answered this question all night, is there something we need to address within the mental health services? Where do we go to make changes?
Well,
is funding the area?
Well, funding is definitely part of it, but it's not all funding. I think sometimes I have a gripe sometimes with politicians being a little bit divorced from reality. I mean, we've seen it in the last election. We see it in other areas as well. But you have people in the mental health services who are passionate, or people, like my youngest brother is mentally handicapped. He's Down syndrome. So I know all about it. So I'm closely connected to it. But even the school that he was going to last year in Longford, St. Christopher's, or was associated with, there was rumours, or they came pretty close to closing. And you have to ask, why does something like that happen in modern Ireland, like 2016? With the politicians and people running around celebrating 1916 during the summer. And yet, you had people who were homeless in 1916 or in tenements in Dublin and places like that. And we still have the same problems 100 years later. I mean, how much are these people really committed? And we need a full commitment from all levels of Irish society, not just the people on the ground doing the groundwork, but right the way up to the top.
Yeah. Deirdre? mental health services. What's your feeling on that situation?
I do agree with what Paul is saying. I certainly do, and I think that issue will go on and go on and go on. It is a political issue, probably. But, you started a conversation for the last 30 days, Colin, there was people waiting for your songs. I had my cousin in Kerry ringing me, telling me I can't wait every day for the song to go up in the message. So we started the conversation, and I say we, I mean everybody. And I think we have to keep that conversation going on. And if we can build on this, maybe what Paul wants will happen, maybe that the government will listen, will realise the funding is needed. It is okay not to be okay, but where do you go to? You've had fantastic speakers here tonight. Everybody had their own idea where you go to. But can I say personally, if we have a problem, we have to go to our friends. We start with our friends. Yeah, I
totally agree with you. Yeah, absolutely.
And, the last 30 days, don't let it be forgotten just because the funding isn't there.
But I think there's a problem with men. We tend to be more macho. We don't like to show weakness. Women will go and will chat to their friends. It's what women do anyway, to talk.
They talk forever.
Men, they say, typically with men will talk side by side. And this is why things like the men's shed, for example.
Or you'll find lads, if they get a few pints into them, you actually get the truth out of them. Or they seem to be more open to what's really going on in their head, which is not a good thing either, that they have to do that.
Yeah.
But we all know those guys that are locked up and suddenly, they're more relaxed and suddenly you get what's going on in their heads. Mm-hmm. But the next day they don't want to talk about it again.
Yeah.
It's like, don't want to talk about that.
And it's very hard to talk about it. I mean, we're here, the three of us, we're talking, we're friends, we know each other very well. But if you say, how are you? I'll go, I'm grand. You have to take time and you have to really, really peel it away like the onion to get into really what people are feeling.
Yeah. But when we had somebody like Brezzy come out and publicly say, look, I've suffered with mental health issues, that gave people permission to kind of go, look, he's a big, strong guy. If he's suffered with this, then it's okay for me to say I've suffered with it as well.
Yeah, talks have become a huge thing. We've had Blind Boy from the Rubber Bandits saying he took his talk. The place was jammed here, and it's interesting how certain people in the celebrity world had that pulling power. But yeah, exactly. Yeah, I watched that on the Late Night Show.
Yeah.
And so they have a role to play, I guess, in society too, if they have a story to tell, because then that makes them normal, I guess, doesn't it?
It does.
They're just like the rest of us. Because they have a load of money in their back pocket, they still have the same problems we all can have.
Yeah, but isn't it funny, Colin? I think, Deirdre, I think you said it the other week in the office, that if you go into work and you've got a broken leg and it's in a cast, everybody's all about you, around you, can assign your cast. But if you go into work and you're suffering from anxiety or depression, people kind of go, I'll give them a wide berth, kind of, leave them alone, or they might be afraid to ask, is there anything wrong? Is there anything I can do to help? Isn't it amazing, the stigma?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I have to say, I'm delighted to have the two of you here tonight. Deirdre Hunt from Athlone Community Radio and Paul Gill. Absolute gentleman and a gentle lady here. I'd like to thank the two of them give them a massive round of applause, please. Hey. Okay, if you're still staying tuned, thanks for staying with us. We're live here from AIT Students' Union. We're live on Facebook page. This is part of my 30-day challenge that I decided on the last day we would go live. I was delighted to get the phone call from GTM Events. They're actually making this all happen live here. It's a whole new idea of, instead of just using your phone, you can use high-definition quality pictures and deliver this project in this sense. But I'm delighted that my next guest up is Jim Devine. He's part of Athlone Drug Awareness.
Colin, thanks very much.
Jim, it's a pleasure to have you.
Thanks for having us.
Jim, it's a big area, drug awareness, and the whole area of creating awareness, and especially the young people in AIT, for example. What's your message to the young people, and how are things going for yourselves?
Well, we're about 20 years in existence now. Quite a lot of work is already done, and the best of the work is generally done in AIT because they have facilities in place to deal with those issues. Most of our work is done at a lower level, at the end of national school, start of secondary school. Yeah. Whereas we do some work with AIT as well.
Yeah.
AIT have some very good resources in place to do a lot of that work.
And where are we at? Are we in a difficult place? Or is education the way forward? Are people going to still experiment when they're younger? Or are they influenced by society? Where are we at with the young audience these days when it comes to drug awareness? Is it because of people's backgrounds? Is it because of influence? Is it a lot of different areas?
Lots and lots of different areas.
Yeah.
If somebody said, have you or will you sort the drug problem out? And no, we won't. It'll never go away.
Okay.
It will change, it'll get better.
It's how you deal with it, right?
It'll get better. It'll come and go in trends.
Right.
And there are times, like at the moment, personally, I think it's pretty scary at the moment.
Yeah.
Because it changes and it fluctuates.
Right.
When we started off 20 years ago, we may not have had the variety of drugs available that time.
Yeah.
So we could aim and develop our campaigns and procedures to deal with a particular.
And how are you funded?
Well, we're a voluntary group.
Okay.
We do get some more money from the health board.
Yeah.
And basically that's it. We do church care collections and we get some help from different organisations. I'm really afraid to say we don't need money, but we don't use money only to give it out again.
Okay.
You know what I mean? We fund small projects ourselves.
Yeah.
And we draw down funding for small projects. So we don't necessarily need money, and I hope there's no one from the health board listening because the check could reduce.
And like for somebody that like, how does somebody know they have a drug issue? Like, I know it might sound like a stupid question to ask, but like someone that said, no, I don't have a problem. Like, is it a case, like, have you dealt with people that are in denial that obviously said, I don't have a problem, that you may come across that may have not come to you?
Okay, well, that's going to the other end of the drugs issue. We're obviously trying very hard at a prevention level.
Okay.
We're trying to, on the pillars, we're trying to educate in a realistic way.
Yeah.
Because most of the young people know more about drugs than their parents.
Wow.
They wouldn't, a lot more about drugs than their parents. They may not have exactly the right information, but they...
So education is a big thing here then, right?
To know exactly what it is.
And do you think the young people are listening? Is it one that you've got to keep driving?
You have to constantly keep driving because they are listening, but they can be selective in what they hear.
Yeah.
There's some very crazy, dangerous drugs out there at the moment. Young people will take drugs then for lots and lots of different reasons. Obviously, peer pressure is a huge issue.
Yeah.
And even that we find that we run discos and we run events that are drug-free for young people. And sometimes you will notice a young person that might be in bother with a few beers on them when they shouldn't be.
Peer pressure obviously is a big problem.
But it's actually good to see their mates the way they mind them.
Yeah, I often wonder because when I was younger, I don't think it was, maybe it was, but I wasn't. Is it the circle of people, I suppose, can influence your situation as well? And
yeah, well, having a particular, I suppose, one of the warning signs for parents would be as the young people suddenly change their mates or suddenly change their circle of friends.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
There's lots and lots of good stories where some young person was spiked and all of the friends came around and minded them and protected them all night and got them through it. And maybe their parents only found out about it years later. Yeah. So mind your mates is a huge message, and it's a message that attracted me to this tonight to see this is good. This is great. There isn't more people like you.
Well, you know, I'm just part of all of us here together, and I appreciate that. If you had a message to send out to the young people about drug awareness tonight, what would you say to people?
Well, if it was just about drugs awareness, I suppose the main issue, I suppose, that the message I was hoping to put forward was exactly your message, is to talk to somebody.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be me, it doesn't have to be somebody in uniform or suits, just talk to somebody.
Yeah.
Let it be their friends, their mates, because they do understand. They're going through very, very similar situations. And talk to people and see what we can do in relation to mental health to shift that stigma. There's a big, big stigma out there in relation to it. I remember 6 or 7 years ago I had an issue, I had medical issues and all that jazz, and I had depression afterwards. And I said I couldn't suffer from depression. Most of the lads I have a pint with say I was too thick to suffer from depression. Yes. But thought I was invincible, and it's a man thing. And most of the young men as well, they're not going to say I suffer from depression. So I got advice and I got help, and I met a lady that did some counsel, and she got me through it. Pretty quick, actually.
Right.
Didn't take a long time. She got me through it. So don't be afraid to ask for help, because if I have a toothache in the morning, I go to the dentist. So if I have mental health
I don't.
No, well,
I'm forced to go.
I'll avoid it, but I'll eventually go there. But at least I know where to go.
Yeah, which is fantastic.
not to be afraid to go.
Yeah.
That would be the main message. Do not be afraid to say that I need help.
Brilliant.
Because we're not
Yeah,
invincible.
I totally agree with you.
We think we are, but we're not.
Jim, it's been a pleasure.
Thanks very much.
Thanks so much
Thanks
for
for
coming.
having us on.
You're very welcome.
Thank you.
Jim Devine, give him a round of applause, please. Okay, I think we're coming towards the end of our...
Oh, not
We're
already.
We're not finished yet, are we? Are we finished? No.
I think we're nearly there, are we?
We just want to, almost before we do wrap up, we would just like to have a little cue card here, have I? Is it my cue card, Graham, is it? I'd just like to thank, I want to thank everybody that came here tonight for starters. I want to thank all our guests, all our musicians, everybody that's working behind the scenes, Colin and Graham Mulcahy from GTM Events. They're the people that made this all happen live. I got the phone call, they said they're going to come down here, do everything for me for free, because they recognise the importance of mental health awareness, and I really appreciate they've been here all day, fine-tuning this setup with lights, cameras, and I have to put my hat off to the both of them. What's that? I want to thank my co-presenter, Daniel Coulter. He's done a fine job. He was quite nervous actually coming on.
That's because you rang me at 2 o'clock.
Well, I knew if I rang him during the week, the problem would be he'd be thinking about it for 4 or 5 days. So I thought, I'll leave him till about the 9th hour and give him the phone call.
Just to echo though what you said on the guys here and the setup that they have, it's fantastic as well, and they really put us at ease, I think, as well. So it's been brilliant, fantastic, and well done again. 30 days. How are you feeling?
I'm actually feeling fine. I was sick there for 2 days, got a bit of a stomach bug, and I thought I'm in trouble, but I got through that.
Very good.
Also, I suppose I need to thank all the musicians that I played with and different bands that I played with on Facebook. Most people that I rang, when I asked them, do you want to get involved? There was no problem. They were very supportive. And everyone that shared all the videos every single day for 30 days, who liked those posts, tolerated good songs, bad songs.
I was never as tagged in as much things. I felt really popular.
Some people were getting tired of the tags, but that's another story. I think that's basically where we're at now, isn't it? We'd like to wrap it up.
Yeah, excellent, yeah.
So till the next time, if there is a next time, you never know, watch this space. I want to thank everyone for watching tonight, all our audience. Take care of yourselves this Christmas. Have a good one. Don't forget to talk to each other. Make somebody a cup of tea. And look after your family and friends, and we'll see you soon. Thank you.
Cheers. Thank you. Brilliant.